Hello everyone! The world-known soprano Maria Callas has ever said, an opera begins long before the curtain goes up and ends long after it has come down. It shows how fascinating opera is. So in this session, we're going to compare Peking opera and Western opera, paying special attention to their distinctive artistic features. It was during the reign of Emperor Qianlong that Peking opera emerged. It is the most influential opera in China, with a history of almost 200 years. Even till today, Peking opera presents audience with different aspects of Chinese culture, as well as unfolding stories, beautiful paintings, exquisite costumes, graceful gestures, and martial arts. Opera in Italian means work or labor. And Western opera has a history of more than 400 years. It is a comprehensive art form, requiring the skills of solo, chorus singing, declamation, acting, and dancing. That is to say, performers need to be excellent musicians, vocal technicians, and brilliant actors. Comparatively, Peking opera tends to be symbolic and suggestive, while Western opera is more realistic and grand. In Peking opera, backdrops and stage props are very simple, often a table and two chairs in front of a big curtain. The table could be functioned as a bed when an actor acts asleep, or a sitting gate tower if the actor stands on the table and looks into distance. Simply put, changes in the stage setting follow the performance of actors. The performers use gestures and body language to present their actions. When an actor walks in a circle, it means that he has been on a journey. An actor takes an oar, shows he is rowing a boat. Two actors can portray groping or fighting in the dark through dance and acrobatics on the stage. For generals and for soldiers represent an army. The virtual settings and the virtual movements in Peking opera provide limitless room for the performance of actors. And in turn, the audience can feel the rich connotations of the opera and its infinite appeal. More appealingly, the facial makeup in Peking opera is extremely symbolic, telling different personalities of different characters. For example, Cao Cao has a white face, showing that he is untrustworthy and cunning. Guan Yu has a red face, representing his bravery and loyalty. Judge Bao has a black face, telling us that he is straightforward and impartial. By having different symbolic facial makeup, performers present the audience with a world of images full of appealing wit. And Peking opera has made it possible to transform a small stage into the whole universe. Quite differently, Western opera is more realistic and breathtaking in scale, with large and elaborate stage. For example, the story of cats takes place in a garbage processing field. Yak wool and human hair are used to make the paws, hair, and tails of the cat. The cats of different personalities and appearances have come on stage. The naive young white cat, the naughty cat, the jokey one, the evil one, the magic cat, and so on. Finally, a shabby old grey cat stumbles out, emotionally singing that classic song, Memory.
Memory, all alone in the moonlight. I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then.
It is undeniable that stage design, the grand scenes, and intense dramatic plots largely impress the audience. You may also notice that the ways of singing and acting are different in these two operas. The singing in Peking opera is highly stylized, but its variations of rhythm and pitch enable actors and actresses to express their thoughts and emotions in different situations. Acting in Peking opera includes a set of movements, gestures, and expressions. Every movement or pose, such as stroking a beard, swaying a sleeve, or lifting a foot, has its own formula or pattern. That is to say, performers learn standardized movements and expressions for certain character types. However, the singing in Western opera is more flexible. Usually, it has two types of singing, recitative, and aria. The former is narrative talk singing with spoken lines, put to a simple, one-note repeated melody. The latter is a reflective song, emphasizing the feelings and expressions of the character. But these two types could expand to chorus, solo ensembles, and descriptive instrumental passages. And the orchestra plays a vital role in providing harmonic depth and variety to accompaniments. Among those great opera composers, Mozart is especially famous for his flexible creation in a variety of styles and languages. We can see that he has used music to specifically define his characters and plots, choosing specific keys, composing individual vocal lines in solo ensembles, and creating ingenious orchestration to paint emotions. It is even more interesting to notice the decisive elements of the roles in these two operas are quite different. In Western opera, performers' voice ranges determine their roles such as soprano, tenor, mezzo-soprano, and alto. For instance, Bellini's Norma depends on soprano with dramatic skills. Donizetti's La Fiche du Régiment requires both a brilliant soprano and a tenor with limitless high Cs. Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro requires such an exhausting variety of moods and techniques that very few of the greatest sopranos have ever mastered the role. But in Peking opera, there are four major roles: Sheng, Dan, Jing, and Chou. Sheng roles can be subdivided into Lao Sheng, who represents decisive and honest old men with artificial beards; Xiao Sheng, who represents clean-shaven and attractive young men; and Wu Sheng, who represents young generals skilled in martial arts. Usually, Lao Sheng is given priority in many programs, and Xiao Sheng is relatively obscure. It is quite different from Western operas, where the young hero is very important and is played by highly acclaimed actors. Female roles are called Dan, which is further divided into Lao Dan, the elderly and dignified women; Hua Dan are the young maidservants; Dao Ma Dan can be horsewomen or warriors; Qing Yi are usually aristocratic ladies in elegant costumes. Historically, due to the long-distance traveling of the opera troops, the Dan role used to be performed by male actors, which was rarely seen in Western operas. For instance, Mei Lanfang has created various images of Asian Chinese women and expressed their tenderness, elegance, and subtlety. More importantly, Mei Lanfang has composed many new melodies and made innovations to the facial makeup, hairstyles, and costumes. He has even created various dances such as the silk dance, sword dance, slave dance, and duster dance. His appearance, costumes, singing, dancing, and movements on stage are all extremely striking. His performance has fully demonstrated Chinese classical beauty with everlasting allure. Jing is the most vigorous and exaggerated role in Peking opera, which can be divided into Wenjing and Wujing, also known as Hualian. No Chou, no play has long been a popular saying in China. The Chou actors can be easily recognized by their facial design, a patch of white around their eyes and noses, sometimes outlined in black. For centuries, mythology, fairy tales, historical events, and folk stories have inspired opera composers. Both Peking opera and Western opera reach beyond geographic and cultural boundaries as one of the most attractive and creative performing arts. Possibly, the following two questions can help you better understand these two operas. Question number 1. What decides the roles in Western opera? Actually, the voice ranges determine the roles such as soprano, tenor, mezzo-soprano, and alto. Question number 2. In which way the facial makeup in Peking opera is symbolic? In Peking opera, different colors in the facial makeup have different meanings. White represents treachery and duplicity, red represents bravery and loyalty, black represents forthrightness and integrity.